This person is going to move, and nothing will stay the same. This person will no longer observe from afar. They can no longer swallow everything and continue pretending that everything is fine. They've been quiet for too long, waiting for something to change on its own. But now it hurts. It's no longer just nostalgia, it's discomfort. It's the body demanding action. You've left marks. Even if you didn't realize it, you created space inside this person. And now everything that was suppressed is starting to leak out. This person tried to move on. They tried to stay silent. But with every step you took without noticing, it pressed harder inside. Now it's too late to pretend they don't feel anything. This person will act. They will speak up. They will show up. Not out of impulse, but because they have no other choice. And then comes the question you've been avoiding. Are you ready for this? You've noticed, even if you've pretended not to see. From the very beginning, there was someone watching you from a distance. Not in an obvious way, not loudly, but they were observing. They saw you pass by. They followed along. They noticed the details. They cherished the moments. This person wasn't just another face in the crowd. They were the one who, even without being by your side, was always close, silent, present in the invisible, attentive. But that silence came at a price, and now it no longer fits. There comes a point when the body begins to react on its own. You might try to convince yourself that nothing was that deep. You could tell yourself that it was just a phase, a memory, something left behind. But some things insist. Some feelings don't ask for permission to stay. This person tried to move on. They tried to forget, distract themselves, pretend indifference. They forced smiles. They changed their environment, their routine, their references. Nothing worked. Because you continued to be present, even when you weren't there, even when you couldn't imagine. You remained, even without meaning to. A gesture from you, a glance, a word said in the moment, a presence at a vulnerable time. You entered without asking for permission, and she let you. Not because she was weak, but because there was truth. And when there's truth, we make space, even when we're scared. The problem is you didn't come back to fill that space, and now it's empty. It turned into pain. What was once a sweet memory now weighs heavy. It hurts, it bothers. This person is at her limit, and you need to understand that. It's no longer about craving attention. It's not about wanting you to notice her. It's about not being able to live in this limbo where everything she's felt is locked away, compressed, denied. She tried to be rational. She tried to respect your time, your silence, your way of being. But there's no logic where feelings are throbbing too intensely. The body speaks. The mind demands. The heart insists. And when all of this builds up, eventually it bursts. Do you really think she could pretend forever? Do you honestly believe she would keep watching your life from the sidelines, without moving, without saying anything? Do you think she would remain platonic, subtle, invisible? No. This person is about to break the silence, not because she wants to prove something, but because she's tired of hiding everything she feels. You have no idea what she's held back to avoid reaching out. The messages written and erased, the plans she made but shelved. But now, nothing holds her back anymore. And when she moves, she won't be subtle. She will arrive. She will say it. She will show it. No beating around the bush, no strategies, no fear of exposing herself. She will bring light to where there was only shadow. She will turn memory into presence, and you will have to deal with it. There will be no turning back. There will be no unseeing it. There will be no pretending you didn't feel. Because you will feel. And everything you pushed under the rug will rise to the surface. You will remember the conversations you had, the glances that lingered longer than they should have, the moments when the silence between you said more than any words did. You always knew, but you thought you could control it. You thought time would erase it. You thought ignoring it was the best defense. But time didn't erase it. It made it grow, it made it ferment, it turned into urgency. And this urgency now has a face, a voice, a body. And it's going to knock on your door, one way or another. Are you ready to hear what this person has been holding on to for so long? Because it's not insignificant, it's intense, it's raw, it's true. Don't expect a rehearsed speech. Don't expect beautiful phrases. Expect raw emotion. Expect truths that will hurt. They don't want to convince you of anything, but they need to speak. They need to get it out, because they're drowning in it. And if they don't speak now, it will explode inside. You know what I'm talking about, because deep down you feel it too. You never completely disconnected. You never truly closed the door. You left it ajar. And now they're going to walk through, not to ask, not to beg, but to show what you caused, to show what remains, to show what still exists, even if you've tried to deny it. What comes next is not control, it's consequence. You had time, you had space, you had silence. Now there's no more of that. This person is going to emerge, they're going to speak, they're going to act. And when they do, you won't be able to pretend it's a surprise, because you always knew, you always felt, you were always on the brink of this. What you have left now is to deal with what's coming, or run away once again. But know this, if you run away, there won't be a second chance. This is the moment when everything changes. Either you face it or you watch it all slip away, for good. No turning back, no drafts, no pause. This person is no longer available to be a shadow. They won't accept being a memory anymore. They want to be present. And they will be, even if it takes you time to understand. You ignored too many signs. Now you won't be able to ignore the impact. It's not just about what was felt, it's about what was silenced. And when something is stifled for too long, it doesn't die. It transforms. It transforms into urgency, into impulse, into movement. This person isn't just showing up by chance, they're coming because they've endured up to their limit. And you had way too much time to take a stand. Don't kid yourself into thinking this is just another phase. It's not loneliness, it's not having nothing to do. This is the moment of rupture, what happens only once and changes everything. You might even try to resist, look away, change the subject, but you'll feel it. Because the presence that used to be only digital now has intention. Now it has direction. Now it carries weight. You're face to face with someone who chose not to remain silent anymore. And when someone who has always observed in silence decides to speak, the world around stops, certainties shatter, excuses lose their power, and what was in the shadows demands space. This person will say what you never had the courage to hear. They will expose what you never had the courage to admit. They will touch on the points you've hidden, even from yourself. And they won't ask for permission, because those who feel too much get tired of waiting for the right moment, get tired of acting cautiously, get tired of protecting those who never protected them. Now it's all about them. It's this person opening up about what has been bottled up, no matter who it hurts, including you. The question you've avoided all this time now stares you down. What are you going to do when they arrive? Are you going to pretend you didn't understand? Are you going to smile awkwardly? Are you going to turn your back as if you didn't hear anything? Or are you finally going to confront what you also felt, because you felt it? Even if only for a short time, even if you tried to suppress it, even if you disguised it for everyone. You know that this connection was not normal. It wasn't casual, and it wasn't light. It was real, intense, difficult to even explain, but impossible to forget. And now they're going to materialize what you've always pretended didn't exist. They will bring to light the details, the gestures, the subtext. You might not remember everything, but they do, because they felt it with their entire being, while you only felt it when it was convenient. That difference weighs heavily, and it's going to weigh even more now. Because what was once just a memory for her is going to become reality for you too. And when that happens, there won't be any way to pretend you're surprised. This person is going to pull you out of the comfort of avoidance. You either respond or you lose. It's that simple. There will be no more middle ground, no more space for comfortable silence. She will lay everything out in front of you and expect your response. Not empty words, not an emoji in a cold conversation. She wants clarity, even if it hurts, even if it destroys, even if there's no happy ending. She wants the real deal. Now, you're going to need to show who you really are, not the persona you built to protect yourself, not the light-hearted, independent, emotionally untouchable character. That one doesn't convince anymore. She's going to force you to be raw, to show what you feel, or to admit that you never really felt anything, but be honest. Because this is the last space she's going to give you. After this, everything changes. She's going to leave, and she won't leave a trace. This is the last chance for truth to exist between you. It's no longer about romance, it's no longer about winning her back. It's about respect, about openness, about expressing what has been silenced for too long. And you know, these opportunities don't come back. This person has waited longer than she should have. She has silenced herself more than she deserved. She gave you too much time, and now she's the one in charge. Are you ready to hear everything she has to say, even if it shatters the image you've created of yourself? Because it's going to hurt. It's going to expose. It's going to stir up wounds you thought had healed. But maybe, just maybe, this is the only way for you to break free too. You might try to run away, but this time you won't be able to hide. She's going to say it all. She'll look you in the eye, or write in such precise words that you'll feel like you're face to face. No beating around the bush, no censorship, no caretaker not to scare you, because now it's no longer about you, it's about her, and about everything you caused, every silent wait. Every dawn she stayed awake, trying to understand where she lost you. Every attempt to move on that failed because your name still echoed within her, even when everything told her it was time to let go. She is no longer asking for explanations. She is revealing what has been kept inside, and whoever receives this has two options: to embrace it or to let it fall. But if it falls, don't think she will try to recover it. She no longer has the energy for that. She has already spent everything she had trying not to crumble beforehand. You took your time. Now it's too late to control the damage. She no longer wants promises. She doesn't want justifications. She doesn't want half measures. She wants the truth. Even if it's your blatant cowardice, even if it's your confirmed disinterest, she needs to hear it. She needs to know. She needs to release what has been trapped in her chest for far too long. And you need to confront what you caused, even if you didn't mean to, even if you didn't realize it, because consequence doesn't require intention. Everything that you considered unsaid has accumulated, and now it overflows. She will speak of what hurt, of what you didn't see, of what you pretended not to understand. And perhaps while listening you will realize the magnitude of the absence you left behind. The silence that seemed harmless has turned heavy. The ignored messages have become wounds. The distance you maintained has turned into a wall. And now this wall is falling. But there is no fertile ground left on the other side. Only rubble remains. Only an end. You had all the chances. But you confused absence with freedom. You thought disappearing was a sign of autonomy. You thought time would erase everything. You thought the lack of response was the best response. And now you discover that time doesn't heal all wounds. Sometimes time transforms pain into conviction, transforms love into exhaustion, transforms affection into decision, and that's what is happening. She doesn't come for love. She comes for closure, for the need to not carry anything else with your name. There's no more room for doubt. What comes next is the end. Either you face it head-on, like an adult who understands the impact of their own choices, or you watch her walk away without needing to explain herself anymore. She won't cry. She won't ask. She won't beg you to stay. She will move on. Because she's reached the limit of someone who's imploded so many times trying not to disturb others. And now for the first time she will choose herself. And this isn't about you, it's about survival. You will remember this, even if you pretend you don't, because you don't forget those who share what they felt with such honesty. You don't forget those who waited so long and then left without a sound. You don't forget those who looked at you as if there was still a chance for salvation, and then averted their glance, never to return. You will remember her when you least expect it, on some random street, in a restless midnight hour, or in the absence of everything she did without asking for anything in return, and it will hurt. It will hurt, because it was real. And you let it slip away. She takes with her everything that was yours, with the words you never said, with the moments you never lived, with the questions you didn't have the courage to answer, and you will be left with what remains, the echo of absence, the weight of omission, and the certainty that it could have been different if you had moved sooner. If you still feel anything at all, speak. Now, not tomorrow. Not when she has already vanished inside herself. Not when it's too late. Because people like that, who feel with their whole being, don't come around twice. And when they leave, they don't come back. The time for postponement is over. And Either you take a stand, or you prepare to live with the emptiness that you created yourself. If this text touched you in any way, don't ignore it. Maybe you're on the side of someone who walked away, or perhaps you're still sitting there, believing you have time. But the truth is that time doesn't wait, and repressed feelings don't last forever. When a person finally decides to speak after silencing for so long, you either hear everything or lose it all. If you've experienced something like this, share your thoughts in the comments below. Talk about what was left unspoken, what hurt, what you held back. Maybe someone needs to hear exactly what you have to say. If you know someone who needs to read this right now, share it. This could be their last chance to think before they lose everything for good. And if this kind of content resonates with you, confronts you, reminds you of things you'd rather hide, subscribe here. Because this is the space where words don't just breeze by, they stop, resonate and transform, and leave a like, not to inflate numbers, but to show that you still feel, that you still care, and that above all, you don't want to lose anyone to silence anymore. See you next time, or maybe not.